Hi, I'm Marianne Holland, and I am going to be doing today's class on setting goals and why you should set them and how to make sure that you actually accomplish them over time. So let's get started. So the first page, there should be something for you to download, although you do not need to. I personally do everything in my journal, but the worksheet is just something that I typed up based on what I was doing in my journal. So let me take you through that real fast. And so the worksheet, we start with 5 years. I heard this fun little fact on a podcast and a book somewhere that you can accomplish anything that you set your mind to within 5 years. I thought that was really, really cool. It made a lot of sense to me. It seemed realistic. And so that's why the first page of the worksheets is the 5-year mark. Usually I doodle this stuff because I do it quarterly. I have a big spread and it's kind of my vision board. So there's usually a few more pictures on here instead of just words. But what I did notice after writing it over and over and every quarter and writing down the same things or adding things up is that there are these things that kept popping up for me. So a big one is travel. So that's what I would say is one of my core values. Financial security is another of my core values, and just joy. So finding joy in the everyday, that's another one of my core values. And I kind of got that from all the goals and stuff that I set on here. Is just kind of the themes that I was able to pull out. So what's cool about this little section on the bottom on top of the whole worksheet is that if I have new opportunities that come up for me, I can see if it aligns with my core values or my goals. So that's really neat to know and to have. That makes a lot of decisions a whole lot easier to make, to say no to, even if it seems like a good opportunity. If it doesn't match my goals and it doesn't match my core values, or if it doesn't make me want to change my goals to make room for this new opportunity, then I know that it's not a good opportunity for me. If suddenly I close my eyes and in 5 years, like this opportunity is like all I see, and it fits in with the rest of my goals and it all like gels well, then yeah, like for sure add it in. I'm not going to pass up on a great opportunity, but it just has to be congruent with like how I feel, my goals, my core values, like who I am and where I want to be in the future. And that's another big thing about this and about setting goals in general, is that if you don't set goals and you don't think about where you want to be in 5 years, those 5 years are going to happen. So whether you choose where you're going to be in 5 years or whether you let life choose for you, that's up to you. But personally, I like to know where I'm headed, and I like to know that the actions that I'm taking every day are getting me in that direction. So I think that's one of the main reasons that you do want to set goals, is that set goals and keep up with them, because even if they're in your head, which is good, that's already like a step closer, but like if you're not writing them down, you're not keeping up with them often, then it's easier to put them on the back burner, to make decisions that are not aligned with those goals, and then maybe to even like get sidetracked from those goals and then end up in 5 years have made either no progress on it or have worked in the complete opposite way of getting towards those goals. So personally, I like to take a hold of my future, so that's why I set goals and I review them consistently to make sure that I am moving towards the right direction. So after you're done with the 5-year goal list, and which is your lifetime goals, also they might change in 5 years, so live a few lifetimes in a lifetime. But so I break it down from 5 years down to 1. So what do I want to get done this year? So this is where I really split it up between business and personal. I think it's important for us to have both kind of goals. If you don't own a business, but you have like corporate goals, I would still set your own goals for like your career versus, you know, a business, and also versus the goals that your boss might set for you. I feel like those goals are, it's more about just getting the paperwork done than it really is about like your growth and opportunities for you. So you need to take that into account and to set your own goals so that you can take your career where you want it to. So yeah, so now I go back to my list and the 5-year goals, and I see if there's kind of an order. So if one thing needs to happen before the next thing happens, then I know I need to work on that goal first. So for one of my goals, I have, you know, make passive income. So for this year on the business side, I have create an online course. So I already have the idea for this online course. The material is mostly already written out. So I'm hoping that this will be done by the end of the year, because even though it says, you know, this year, it should take you about a year to complete stuff in this section. But since we're starting about mid-year, these are still things that I think I'll be able to get done in 2020. And then personal goals, I've kind of had to shift those a little bit too. With the coronavirus, traveling is not going to be as friendly. But I did want to make sure that some of those things were taken from there from the first page. And so, yeah, so I set 3 goals for myself for this year that are still pretty big, pretty broad, but that are a step towards getting to one of those 5-year goals. So then I take that. So then business 1, I break it down for this quarter. Okay, so for that online course, what do I need to do in the next 3 months to get that really, you know, moving forward? So again, I might leave this pretty broad. I know people have heard about like SMART goals, and I remember the M is for measurable. And I guess that's where, you know, you'd say see X amount of income from this online course, and that might be, I'm not ready for that step yet. So right now for online course, it's going to be record videos and content to, you know, and tweak the content so the course is ready to go by the end of the next quarter, which I feel like is totally doable in 3 months. It gives me enough time to do it, but not too much. So then you do that for goal number 2, goal number 3, and you see what the next thing is to do that you can get done within a 3-month period. Same thing for personal. You just break it down at this point, 1 to 1. So I haven't gone down to this worksheet. This is where you would break it down for monthly and this week. You could skip the monthly if you wanted, but in my planner, like I said, I get a new one quarterly. I have a new page every month, like for the month with a calendar. So I like to write those goals back down monthly, and also just a repetition of writing it down often helps. So for that, it's like that online course that I keep using as an example. So for this quarter, I want to record videos and spiff up the content or whatever. So for this month, I might say my task for that is to like write out the scripts for the videos and decide which videos I'm going to need to be recording. Month 2 might be actually record the videos, you know, which really would only take me a day or 2 probably to record. And then just take it from there, you know. But when you say record videos and do all this stuff and put it in an online course, it sounds overwhelming. But when you take it step by step, it really is just a lot easier to eat it up. And I don't know if you've ever had someone tell you, you know, okay, so for this task, I want you to write down for this goal, I want you to write down every single task that you'll need to do to reach that goal. And for me, like writing out 101 different things that I need to get done to do this, overwhelms me way more than it helps. And so this is more of a way to think about, okay, like, what's the next right thing, as Elsa and Anna would say, versus like, look at this whole like list of things that I need to do. And that works a lot better for me, to just know, okay, like this week, ABC, I gotta get these 3 things done, which will help me with this monthly goal, which is helping me all the way back to the 5-year goal. So, yeah, so I don't need to list out like 500 different things to do to make that thing happen. That overwhelms me. I think it's one of the main reasons why I haven't created a podcast yet, because there are a lot of steps in doing that, and it overwhelms me. So maybe I should put that down here and let the worksheets kind of do their magic. So my worksheet ends on this week, but I personally, when I'm in super productive mode, will break it down per day. But I have not been feeling that way since Corona time and stuff. So right now it's just weekly. But yeah, it's really easy to get 3 things done per week. It helps you, like, I mean, if you got those 3 things done, of course, there's going to be like stuff that you need to do every day. Say like invoice your customers for their orders, or do this or do that. Those are things that do need to get done, but they're not moving your goals forward, you know? So, I mean, you can delegate any of the stuff on your goals list, or you can delegate the invoicing. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to do everything on your goals list by yourself either. So it's just finding that right balance of like working on your goals, working on your business, working on your family, but also not being like so busy. Essentially, we just don't want to be busy for the sake of being busy. And if you're going to be busy, at least it's kind of like the crunch time before you get to the goals. Because being busy should not itself be a goal. But yeah, and like I mentioned earlier, it really is helpful in helping you decide what decisions to make with your time, with your money, and there's stuff like that. So like anything as simple as, hey, do you want to go to Mardi Gras with me this week? Like, if it's going to make it to where I cannot accomplish any of these things because they're not related to Mardi Gras or whatever, then it's going to have to be a hard no. If one of my personal goals, however, is to like live for the moment, and my business goals I can get accomplished, you know, I'm like, okay, like, let me hop on board and make some memories. That's part of like me wanting to live life. So it really depends on your own wants, your own needs, what you find are your core values, and then just that repetition, I think, of it, and keeping it broad, doable, achievable. I'm pretty sure that's the A in the SMART goals. But also I personally don't keep them super measurable. The M of the SMART goals, unless, okay, so I mean, like for personal, say I want to have a great marriage, by monthly I might put, you know, go on 4 dates. So that's measurable in its own way, but sometimes it will be a whole lot less so. So that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoy the worksheet. I hope you start setting some goals, and I cannot wait to hear what they are and how you are moving along in accomplishing them. Thank you.